Good morning, traders. Welcome to our daily webinar. This will be on YouTube for the general public. So this is the second part of today's daily webinar. The first part is only Forex. It is very detailed. If you trade Forex, even if you don't trade Forex and you're watching this because you trade only cryptos, you should go watch it because I actually explained a lot about patterns in there. So let's go. We're starting the second part. This will be with stocks, indexes, and cryptos. So this is the copper. You've got a nice move down. You're kind of and I think we're still consolidating in here. I can see this coming back to the top here, after which we'll go down. This will complete this flag. So probably if you get a flag here for a buy copper to the top there, that would make sense. And I don't know how high it's going to go. Normally we don't break that top. And if we're gonna go down big time, then I don't think they'll break very far here. They'll just probably tag this up and go down. This is more of a 1, 2, 3. See this flap in here? We came down back. We got this one. Now we're trying to make this. This should go sharp. So that could be a nice trade if you get a small flag and then probably look for downside. This would be big downside after that. Right? So would the downside be a correction for more upside? I think it's possible. We are already in an uptrend, right? But at the top here, we can totally go down because of the daily structure, right? The reason you might want to sell more than the buy even is because of sorry guys, because of this structure. Give me 1 second, please. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing my voice. It's Friday, but it's okay. I wouldn't need the voice very much on the weekend. Yeah, so the reason for this is because of this whole structure. This looks more like a 1, 2, I don't know where that piece is. It should be there. 1, 2, 3. So I think there's a high probability of this actually going back down, right? This piece going back down like this to this level, making a pattern that is similar to this. That possibility exists because this looks like a correction. If we're wrong about that, let's assume that this is some kind of a contracting flat in the middle here. Just assume for a second. Then yes, this one will be a flat and then we'll go up one more. So you can go with both small trades. For now, you can go with the buy setup. If you get a flag here for a buy setup to the top, if you get a flag here, buy setup to the top there, and then you can go with the sell. This would just be this flat in here and then the upside, or this would continue to go down. Either of those two possible. The buy setup here today would be a good one if you get it. Oil, okay. So yesterday we were looking at this and what is it doing? So if you got that sell there yesterday, we spoke about that sell, you can get it this here. You're out of the trade. I think this one is going to go back up. We're kind of consolidating here. Starting to look like we're making some kind of a consolidation here. This piece might not be it. This piece looks like it's pretty much its own consolidation for this move coming down. Right, you kind of get its own consolidation there. That is possible. This move, so we've made a low, then we're making some sharp waves. If that's the case, we'll probably be here for a while before we go. If that is the case, then we have 1, 2 sharp waves only. So we just have to wait. On the 4 hour, you can see that what you're doing is consolidating. And if they consolidate at the bottom there, which is good, it means we're going to go totally downside. So let me come way down to the bottom and try to explain that to you. All right. Let's see if we can find somewhere where that would make sense. Let's start this one. So when you get an impulse like this, this was the low, you made an impulse. If you consolidate to the top half of this, you're going up. If this thing had come all the way back to the bottom here and then do that, we will go more downside. All right, so let's find a place where they actually came back to the low so you can see why it's downside. So let's find an up move first, and then we will do that. So probably daily, because you're not going to find it in the lower time frame. Right, so here might be a good example. You got to move down, and then they consolidate back to the top, almost back to the top of this one, see? And then you drop, especially with a flat in the middle, and then you just continue to go. So if this consolidation stays here, we go down. If the consolidation goes up more like this and come back to the top there, see, it has to go back to the top, all the way back to the top. So if this consolidate back way to the top there, then they will come here and then continue to go. See, it's pretty easy. If we stay at the bottom here, expect downside. See when this one is at the bottom here, expect downside. When they go back to the top, we're looking at flat patterns. So because we have divergence here, there's a good chance for the downside. So stay with this. You're consolidating at the bottom range so far. You have a buy setup here today, most likely. 8 hours sideways, that's 2 4-hour candles. That should be a move back to this top. Is this enough for the drop? I don't think so. I think we'll probably do a number of these here before we go. So go to the hourly. Yep, you're getting a, just like you had this flag here. You're getting another flag forming here. They'll probably stay here some more. Then you'll get that trade up. If the longer they stay here, the better for you. Come here, come back down. That will complete this one. We'll go back up, and then that is a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to do that, but that is a possibility. If you took the pound buy, make sure you get out for break even. Any of the buys I just warned just now, if you take them, make sure you move it, because we can't confirm upside on these as yet. It's early. So watch that. Okay, if you're asking why I just mentioned that, if you're watching this webinar and wonder why I just spoke to myself about a pound, I'm actually in our trading room, and some traders are in the room with me. So I'm just telling them if they took the pound buy, they should get out for break even. Sorry about that. Yes, I get caught up. Forget I'm doing a webinar for the general public as well. So watch this here. If you get that would be good. If it's small, then they'll make a sharp one, and then we're going to have a series of sharp ones. But the mere fact that all of this is happening at the bottom here is good, because that is long-term, a big move to the downside for you. UK oil, same thing. Good. Keep doing. You probably get a buy setup here. If they come back, if this piece comes back lower here, rather than make a flag there for the upside, then we will get the big flat here. And this would drop beyond that point, come back here, and then that would be your running flat. So which of those patterns is going to make? We don't know. We don't have enough information to make that decision. But here's what you can do. If you get a flag here, buy it. That's the simplest part of how you look at it. Yep, this one came down as expected, but it didn't go far. Once you started to see this, they stop, you get this. See that? When you, sorry, I don't know what's happened to my voice today. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Give me a second, let me mute. Yeah, sorry about that. The second part of this webinar stuff. Once you start to see this consolidation here after they drop, and you see this, start to think, okay, what is this? We're getting that. So it's still a correction within the bigger structure. Come back. We didn't break the low. You started to make a smaller one like this, and you go, you're still in this move down. So this just becomes a bigger consolidation. Maybe you come back here, go, or maybe they just go a little more and then come down. It's still in the bigger structure, you're still going sideways, right? You're not going up as yet. We can't confirm upside in that as yet. That's just a pullback. And I think most likely it's a pullback for downside. It'll probably give you another one here. And so then you look for this. Natural gas needs to break this low at least. I think when we break this low, then we look for the upside. So let's see, go to 1 hour. Yep, let it go. Look for a sell. If you get a buy setup there, you have to be careful. It's not going to go far. You can take it, you just have to be careful. But you're looking for a trade down back and then maybe break of the structure. Buy setup. Yesterday we did this in the trading room and we're looking for this move now. Back to the top there. So if you get a buy setup here, that's a good one. And I think you might get a buy setup there already. No, not really. Wait for a good setup. That is going, but that's not a good setup. You probably want a flag or something like that to get the trade. And if you get this, yes, we were expecting this to go back to the top. So you can pull this structure here like that. And you can keep this one here. And there's a good chance that breaking the low, we're now going to go back up within this structure, right? So take this off. That was breaking that low. And go into 4 hour. So you see, this would be your first impulse down. This would be 1, 2, 3. You likely break that up. And then from that point, you can actually come back down. If this becomes a flat in the middle, most likely it will be. So you can come back down. So trade it back to the top. There was a smaller correction in here, very small one. You can take that off. We don't need it. and this is the bigger one. So this is making a flat there, and we will break this top. Or like this was the sell yesterday. You can take that off, go for this trade here now. So somewhere in here, you look for a buy setup to go to break the top. Let's go. Okay, so this was your sell in this pattern. You get a 1, 2, 3. You're breaking out of that structure. Yesterday, we also looked at this in the trading room and we said, be careful, you might be going up now because you've got a 1, 2, 3 structure. And I showed the two patterns, the two impulses, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think some of our traders got that move to the upside. Wait for a flag here. You actually had a flag, a very small one. This could have been a buy already because you had a flag here. See that? It will probably go and make a deeper one, something like this. Like this. 1 second, guys. My voice is truly going. Okay, sorry about that. After the first webinar, the second one is tough, right? Yep, so you might get a bigger one very soon. This is going, it's a trade, but you will probably have to wait for a bigger one by the time you get this webinar, right? Because that trade is gone already. Wait for a correction and then look for more upside. This is going up. We're in an uptrend and this is actually going up. That is a, come on, man. This is a correction here. Get the trade. How far that could go? Well, look for the impulse up like this. You wait for a bigger flag like this and then you get a better trade to the upside. SPX, same thing. We broke the low. You can look at this as a contracting flat, most likely in the middle there. This could make sense for a contracting flat because you have a 1, 2, 3 here. You have that up. You have that up. You got a 1, 2, 3 down there. This could go up. Now, if we think this is making a running flat, wait for a flag here before you get a trade, right? But if you think this is making a running flat, let's assume this for a second. This is a running flat. That possibility still exists. It will come down, make a flag, and you sell. But if they break this top here and make a flag here, that's a buy. We would go with the contracting flats. All contracting flats can become running flats in the future, right? So you have to be careful of that. But in this case, I would probably go with the contracting flat because everything else is upside. These are clear upside structures, right? This one is a clear upside structure. That means this one might as well go. So you could go with the contracting flat, watch for the breakout, watch for the flag, and take the trade, right? DAX, also upside. And DAX yesterday, we were already looking at it. Stay away from the DAX yesterday because you hadn't any clear sign of direction. Now you have a clear sign of direction. Wait for a flag, take the trade. It's pretty easy. Now you have a sign that which direction it's going, and it's more uptrend. Wait for a flag, take the trade. How far this can go, let's see. Starting to get weak. You can see the divergence in here forming already. There's a lot of flats in this thing going up. It's not a very aggressive trade. It's not very aggressive, especially this piece, right? Starting to see this slow down there. So you take the trade, you trade every move now that you buy should be like the last one that is possibly going to happen. So you go like, if this is going to be your last impulse up, you get a flag here, you take it, break it, look for the 270, treat it as the last one. You can even take the 270 from here. Take it to the last one and then wait for a pullback. See if you go, pull back, go. Just take each trade because one of these are going to fall. Very soon, you're starting to see divergence on all-time frame. Very soon, one of that is going to fall really hard. So keep an eye. Let's see what the bigger picture shows. And it depends how you look at this structure. I would need to know where that come from. But you can either put these two as a flat, which is what I would do. And this is a top. This is a bigger correction. Looking for some kind of a big running flat. If we go with this option, where this is the bigger one, that entire thing is some kind of a big expanding flat. Well, then we will probably pull back and just keep going for a while. Both of those patterns are possible patterns. Looking at this, it looks like we're going to get a drop very soon, and we could get a sharp one like this. So as you go with that buy, make sure that it's almost like the last impulse you're going to get. Every one. AU 200. It's coming back to the top. So if you took the trade yesterday, you got this probably to this level and then look for a sell. This is one big flag pattern in the middle here. So we're going to get sell setups back to the low. Nifty. Okay, this didn't go. If you're looking for this to go to the top there, I thought that they would go there. They didn't go. They just keep coming down. So would we have a running flat in here? Can we look at this as a possible running flat? I don't think so. I think this would be part of this move down. This would be part of this move down. So let's wait and see. I don't think it's downside. It's not that we can't go with downside because the depth of which this come back, I still think it's a correction. Right? The depth at which this went back to the top, this is still correction. If you get buy setup, take it back to the top and wait to see whether they break out or they come back. This could stay here for a while. So look for buy setups, especially in this area here. I'll be looking for a buy setup here. You made a new low, look for a buy setup. Tesla? Yeah, look for your buy setup. You can actually try to get it buy from the bottom here. See this? You can actually try to get it buy from the bottom, but the break of the top is the safest one. All right, this is going to go up. There's no question. Absolutely no question. If it works its way down to the bottom here, we'll get a flat and then downside. If they go from here, there's a chance they're going all the way back to the top. See? There's a chance we're going to go all the way back to the top of this move. Not break out of the move, because likely this would be your first impulse down. So you're going to be in some kind of a big corrective structure with this probably going up here, making another one, something like that, come back here and go. So this might not be as aggressive as I think it could be. So you probably pull it down a little more like that. Get less ambitious about it. It's corrections inside of that impulse. So we'll be stuck in this here for a long time. Those of you who trade options, this is your dream world, right? You have any of the option trader guys in here? You want that correction to stay there for as long as possible. Amazon, we are getting a correction in Amazon here. This one should be good. I think somebody had asked me to put on Facebook for them. I don't know. Any one of you guys in here trade Facebook? Give me a yes or a no, please. Any one of you guys in here trade Facebook? Anybody? Somebody wanted Facebook, but I don't know how many people else would want it. So here's what you're going to do. If more people want Facebook, type, put it in the comments, and I'll put Facebook on for you guys. So unless I get enough people wanting it, then there's no sense. Right? If 1,000 people watch these videos, then we have to have about 50 people wanting Facebook before we put it on. Right? So if I get 50 comments with Facebook, it will be on. Look for this trade up here. Right? This is a big correction. I do think we're going to go back to the top here, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, so you're making a bigger consolidation here, and maybe one more up, but then downside. This whole correction is for downside. Let me see what you have here. No, you're probably looking for a sell setup. I'll go for the sell here. Go for the sell and see how far they go before they go back up. So that's a sell setup forming there. This is a correction of its own. This is a correction of its own. That's a sell setup for downside. Go for it. It's a big flag in the making here, kind of a big flag here. See this one? Go for that sell, see how far it goes. It could be total downside, which means breaking the low. Because we're in a correction to the upside, and that means you're going to be going down more. This one is correcting for upside. They're correcting to go up. So you can try to trade this back up there. If they come back again, trade it back up. Eventually, one is going to break out. It's not a downtrend as yet. Reliance, more downside. You might get this to go up a little more, but it's totally downside here. Right, it'll come break the low. I think we'll eventually get this one like that. I am not putting that as yet, but eventually we might get that. I can take this off. And we're going down. I don't think this exists. That doesn't exist. I would put this, I put the stocks with the cryptos, so traders who like cryptos would watch this, and then they'll tell me what else they want to add on. We can still put 2 more cryptos. You have to have at least 10, 15 people wanting the same thing before we can put it on, right? So this one, Bitcoin is coming down. Is that a start of the downside? I don't think so. Not as yet. I still think we're in some kind of a correction, right? Because it's going really slow. But if you get a flag and you sell, you get a flag and you sell, just take it. So go into 1 hour. I think we should look for the buy setup today. This is a small one, right? If this breaks, go for that. This one, go for this. Can it go higher? It's possible to go higher. We just don't have a buy setup in it. This is more of a sell. See, that's more of a sell setup there. So you can get one more drop, take it. It's going to be one drop at a time. If you're lucky, they drop really strong. If not, they go short. But that's a sell setup for now. This piece here is more of a sell setup. The bigger structure coming down, this bigger structure coming down, you want it to go back up, right? You want something like this again up. We don't have that. So maybe they drop here and then start the up move again, back into this structure. But that's a sell setup. I would take it. Anytime you get a sell setup at the top here, you will take it. XRP. Okay, so we dropped yesterday, and that means we might be excluding that bigger running flat pattern that we think it's going to form, and we're still in some kind of a consolidation here. I still think this is all one big consolidation. We haven't gone anywhere as yet. Maybe we're making this running flat. Let's look at that in the 1 hour. Because this came back pretty low. It came back beyond this level. So you have to put all of this as one piece. And that means we will probably be looking at 1, 2. I don't think we would look at this. This is a flat here of its own, this piece. So you get that move up, you get this move down. This could match this one, and then we might be going back up for one there, right? So if you get a flag here, it's going to be a short-term buy. I wouldn't go with a long-term buy with a big flat like that in the middle there. I don't think we're going to any long-term trade right now. So we might still break that top. There's still a possibility for that. Wait for a flag here and go for that trade. And we might still go. It's a big, complex corrective structure forming here. Right, we've had those cases already. You can see this one was very long drawn out as well. This one is more of a 1, 2, 3. This goes back up here. We're going to get 1, 2, 3. We're going to get 1, 2, 3. At least break this top. That's the minimum. And if this, it could happen from this point, or they might break the top and still come. It's still possible, yes. So look for the buy setup here now. And let's see if they break the top. I'll put it here. I'll put two options. We'll put the option of just coming to this top and then go down. And then we'll put the second option of, if you come to that one, you'll come here. And then the second option is you go a little higher, make a running flat. And in that case, you're just going to come about this level. About this level and then go back. So whichever one we get. We either get the regular flat, which is from this top, come back here and then go, or they break the top, come back here and then go. It's still going to make that flat pattern because the majority of consolidation is here. The biggest pattern is in here. So you will come back to somewhere in this area here for your buys, right? You can buy here, buy your way to the top. As you get here, you'll have to look for possibilities to exit those trades because you're going to come down back. Well, you can decide if you want to keep them and live through this and then buy more at the bottom. That's a choice. But this is a big correction, and the probability of them going back down is very, very, very high. It's pretty much, if you're looking at it, look at this move down and all these up moves here, right? See all those up moves there before you come down? So you go up and you're literally making all these up moves here before you go. You're literally repeating the same thing here. And this is incomplete. It has to come there, come back here, and that will complete it. Okay, this one came down to the bottom. You can still get some more. You see what I was telling you about this? Somebody gave me this and asked me to put it on. You got the drop. Is it going up from here? It's possible that would be a contracting flat. I would look for it to go lower. I always like them to break the low. And that gives you a regular flat. So I would expect this to make one more drop and then the upside start. Now, if they've started the upside, you don't have a buy setup. This is not a great buy setup. You'd want an impulse, a very sharp impulse. This is not such a sharp impulse. You'd want a sharp impulse, maybe like this, and then a correction, and then start the buy. That would complete. That would give you confidence in the upside. I don't think buying. Let's see if we get a drop first, and then you look for your buys. This one came down a little too, so we might make an argument for this. Actually, the top of it is here. Let me bring that across here. This is the top. You got your first impulse down here. See that first impulse down there? This is your up move. This was your down move. So you got your first one there. You went up. You're coming down. I think you can go with this being the equivalent of this one. Watch the low here. The low is this point. We don't have to break the low because we already broke the top. So you can just give one more like this and then start that move up. You're looking for an upside, actually. I think that you can get one more here and then go back. How deep can this come? Well, we don't normally expect it to break the low, but it could break the low as an expanding flat and then go back. ETH, more downside. This is easy, just go. This was a sell, that was a sell, this is a sell, one more down. We have to break this low. Most likely we're going to break that low because we didn't break the top. So we'll break the low. Dash. Okay, so is this ready to go up? Anytime because we broke, did we break the low? I think we broke that low already. Maybe one more drop. Go for another drop here. Go for another sell setup. Let's go into 1 hour and see that. Yeah, go for the sell. Probably getting a sell setup here. We didn't make a low and pull back. See this? They pull back away from the low. So you might get this. But if it's like this with a deeper correction in it, right? If you make a come back here and then do this, that'll be one more down. Right now, because they pull away from this low, right? We pull away unless this comes back here, right? And then go to make a flat. This could be a buy, short-term buy. Because you had a flat here, you had a flat there. We drop, we pull away, and now we're making a flat here. That could be upside. Okay. Yeah, this is what thrown. Starting to look like your buy is coming up. Maybe one more downside first, and then look for the buy. I think one more downside is possible. This is a flat in the middle here. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2, 3. You get 1, 2, 3. So one more downside here is very possible. Let me put this trend here. I'll put it like that because I'm looking at this one and this one. So this could work its way up a little more, but then you're looking for this drop before you go. And that would complete the pattern. LTC. Okay, get this. Are we ready for the upside? Not as yet. Put it lower. It's still coming. It still will go. As long as this low is intact here, it's going to be a regular flat, right? So this could drop a little more, but then you're looking for that trade up. The bigger trade is to the upside. These are just dropping slowly here. This is during this part here of this 1, 2, 3. So if you want this sell, you have to be careful, but the upside is the one you're looking for. ADA, let's see what this is. I don't have an idea why this one is so sharp in the middle here, because this one is really slow. This one is more of a 1, 2, 3. And we didn't break the top, right? So we're not making, let me just put it like this. We're not making a bigger correction there. We're not making an end of a move because we didn't break the top. So we're making some kind of a correction here. We have to go break that top if we're going to go down. And that means you're making some kind of a more complex pattern here. This would probably come down here and go back up sharp like that, give you a flat in the middle here. That's a very strong probability. From patterns that I know, this will come back here and then go. If you have that sharp wave and you're getting a curve here, you're going to get a sharp wave back up. But it's not going to be the one that takes off because that will make a flat with this. So you're going to come back here and then go. You'll probably be in this for a while. Take a snapshot of it and keep it, and then we'll know in a couple months whether this is playing out. I'm on a daily chart, so each one of this is a day. It's 2 days up. I don't know if the upside is starting. Let's go into 1 hour and see. not as yet. You don't have an upside as yet. You're actually going to get more downside. This might go down a little more, and then you get the upside, right? You're looking for something like this when you're going up, a sharp move, and that we don't have. We have a sharp move, but this is not the perfect one. If you think it is the perfect one, put an entry over here. Let's assume this, it could go anytime. So let's assume this is the one that's going to go. Put an entry over there, right? And if this is the one that takes off, it's going to be a sharp move up, but then you're going to come back down. If they drop a little, ignore the sell. The sell here is not important. Let it drop a little more, put an entry lower. It goes there, come a little more, put an entry there. One of this is going to go back like this. You're going to get that one there for a flat. And then you're going to come back here before you go. A slow move down like that. So keep your eyes on that one. Let's see what else we have. That's about it. So we can add at least two more cryptos, but you have to have about 10 or 15 people choosing the next one. So when somebody chose one, make sure that the rest of the people who want it say yes to that one. And then under that comment, and then I will see the one with I will choose one at a time. So the one with the most yeses on, or with the most votes on this today, will be on for the weekend. And then we will do one at a time. And then when we get too much, we'll take out the ones nobody's trading. Right? So if you like the video, share it. If you enjoy it and you're learning something, share it to someone else. Have a great weekend. I would see all of you on Saturday, Sunday. I'll do the other webinars for the next week. It will be the weekly outlook because dailies wouldn't be out next week. So you guys have a great time. If you want to know how to get my daily webinar, send me a Skype message. You can still get the daily webinars. The Skype is in the description. Thank you for being here. Take care. And I would see all of the YouTube viewers next week. I'll see my traders in 3 minutes.